Hello, 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 everybody. I am Stephanie D. Sanders, and this is Docu-Series, the autobiographies of some very interesting people. Had to have this guy on the show here today. He's got some stuff that he needs to talk about, but he has a past that's a little bit different and a little bit kind of the same. So we wanted to welcome to the show Vanel Marc. Hey, he's in the building.
Glad to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me today. But now we wanted to jump in to make sure you had all the time you needed to talk about yourself and what you're doing at this time. But just kind of starting things off, taking it back a little bit, going back in the background. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you end up in education and then into the math realm?
Well, to go back, that's quite a ways we're going back. I'm
Hey, it's not that old.
because it's quite a way, but we will get back there. Uh, so I am a first generation American, and my parents are immigrants from the Caribbean,
Okay.
and so education was a big priority for us in our household.
Mhm.
My parents was like, "Hey, just do your best." We didn't finish school, um, so we came here to get a better life. So do your best. And so that was the basic start of things. Um, to be honest, one of the first ventures into education was a my mother was a housekeeper, and she bought a business when I was a kid. Like in when I was in middle school, she bought a business at a flea market, and the business that she bought was from one of the ladies who she cleaned her house for, and she sold toys and creative toys and educational toys to people in the Caribbean. She sold toys to Caribbean people at a flea market. And so my mom bought the business. She and my dad bought the business. They took their entire life savings to buy this business, and
Mhm.
they bought it. And it was like, "Hey, Vanel, you should come and run it with us
Mhm.
because you know what kids like." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." And so, as a 12 or 13-year-old, I was in a toy business, selling toys at a flea market, educational toys to be exact. And to find myself where I'm at right now is like,
Wow.
wait a minute, this is this happened way before. Like I have to like dig and find like these origins. And we had the toy business for about 5 years, and then the revenue from the business wasn't sustaining as it was in the beginning with the initial transition, and so we ended up selling the business. I ended up getting older, and I joined the Marines.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I needed a way to pay for my college, and the Montgomery GI Bill said, we can help you." And so
We got you.
that's what I that's what I did. And so I ended up when I joined the Marine Corps, my recruiter was like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Well, what is it that you want to do that you don't know how to do right now?" I was like, "Well, I don't know how to cook." And he was like, "You're better than that. So we're going to get you a different job because the military cooks it and regular cooks, they're different cooks. So we'll get you a different job, but
Mhm.
keep thinking about what you want to do."
Mhm.
And so I was like, "All right, well, pick it for me." And so he was like, "Well, we're going to get you a job with airplanes." Like
Mm.
I was like, and because we're going to get you a job with airplanes, you get to stay in Florida a little bit longer because
Oh.
your
Mhm.
school's going to be in Florida. I was like, "Okay, sounds good." And so I ended up in the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, learning how to work on aircraft electronics. So I went to boot camp, did that, and I realized really quickly that you need to have a big math aptitude to to do those types of things. And
Mhm.
so um, that I guess that's where I started like finding my stride and like actually, oh, I actually know how to do math. Because like in my class, like we had we had between Marines and sailors, I think we had like 30 people in our class.
Mhm.
And so between between the Marines and sailors in my class, I was the top of my class for the Marines and sailors, but I didn't realize like how how difficult of a feat that was. It was like I'm
Mm.
just doing math, but like outside of the classroom, like how I approached it, it was like I actually have to understand what's really happening. And so in the barracks, I would take time and try to figure out what are these electronics they're talking about and what does it actually mean because it it really didn't make any sense in class.
Mhm.
And so trying to understand circuits and what's going on during the circuits and what's happening, I had to like create like coloring drawings to figure out
To
like
help you out.
what's happening where and where is the like where are these electrons flowing in which direction because it was just black and white.
Mhm.
Fast forward, working in the Marines, when I got out of the Marine Corps, um, I went to a veteran I went to a veterans I guess it was like a transitioning veterans type of workshop type of deal.
Mhm.
And then I met this lady, and she was like, you possibly could be a good fit for this school that I was teaching at. And she was like, it's a small school, all boys school, and maybe you can possibly go work there. But these children, they're not the normal children. They got kicked out of school and everything else like
Mm.
that.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't think that's, I don't think I want
I
to
don't
work
know.
with them, to be honest. Like, and and so she was like, I think you might be a good fit. Like these boys need some mentors,
Mhm.
and you look like the fit for these boys. And I took it on. And when I got there, they didn't want me there. Like the boys,
Oh yeah.
they put on a pretty good facade as far as we don't want you here, like you don't understand us, whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what I learned quickly was these boys definitely needed someone to guide them, but they wouldn't tell it to you
Mhm.
face to face.
Mhm.
So that was like a coping mechanism for them. Like,
Yeah.
we do need you, but we can't tell you or show you
Mhm. So
that we
we just
need
gonna
you.
push you away.
Right,
No,
right.
no. But
Yeah.
then,
So that's what it was. Like for the first about 3 months, like they actively did everything in their power to be like, yo, you're gonna leave. Just like
right.
everybody else who's come through these doors, you're
Mhm.
gonna leave.
Mhm.
You we're not your cup of tea. We understand. And so they did everything to push me away. But for me, I guess my time in the Marines was like my job was to troubleshoot. Like that's what I did every single day. So they in Marines, they bring in the whatever, hey, this is wrong with this thing. We need to troubleshoot it, fix it, find out the root of the problem, and get it out so these pilots can go run their missions. And
Mhm.
so I took it as okay, I, there's some type of problem here. I need to figure out how
What
to
isn't how to fix
troubleshoot this
it?
problem and
Mhm.
figure out why they hate me or people that's walking in this
Mm.
building that's here to try to help them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so what I started realizing early on was that um, many of the students that were in this building, they came from some type of traumatic thing at home.
Mhm.
They're kids. They're not adults. They're kids, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Um, and whatever that they're displaying or they've displayed in their school setting, it wasn't something like it was a result of something. It wasn't the initiation of something. It's like this is their outlet. So if they're acting out in class, there's something that happened before
Mhm.
and that had them start acting out in class. And so
Hmm.
for them to be in this particular school where other adults have already written them off, they already look at adults as you're part of the problem. Like you
You
really
the
don't
enemy.
understand.
Yeah. We don't want
Right. So even though that they didn't know me, they was like, I've seen adults like you already. So
you.
you fit the same mold.
Hmm.
And so the biggest thing for me early on was to find out who these kids were as people, what their story is as people, and once I understood the context of who I was teaching, then I can formulate a plan on how to reach them based on the context of who they are as people.
Hmm.
And so little by little, I start gaining their trust. And, you could tell that they started getting comfortable
Yeah.
with me. And then it was like, okay. And so they would open up and talk.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Or give
and
you a hug.
even though they started opening up, even though they started opening up, like they still didn't want to do the math work. Like, like
Look,
they're like,
baby,
we could talk. We
you
can
going
talk about every other thing.
you
But
going too
this
far when
math,
you ask. Yeah, that's too
like,
much. That's too much. But what did you find to
yeah,
be
you
the most just rewarding doing that position before you?
said it
What
again.
did you find to be just the most rewarding or
It
experience that was just the most rewarding for you when you did that particular job?
it was rewarding for me to see these tough exterior kids um start believing in themselves,
Yeah.
because I feel like this group of kids, I feel like a lot of adults stop believing in them early on. And that's unfortunate for a 12, 13-year-old kid, because that will probably turn a kid into an adult where that adult feel like nobody believes in them. So having an adult like believe in them actually gives them a confidence in themselves where they, as they grow older, they're like, look, I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities, and I can do things because an adult allowed me to believe in myself or
So,
gave me permission to do so.
so was it this particular moment that made you
So
transition into that turning point of where you are now? Because I want you to tell it.
so there's this kid. I'll never forget him. So I'm coming from the military, and so my standard, especially the Marine Corps, is like, yo, you do things with precision and you know super duper detailed oriented. There's no room for error. And I tried to implement that on these kids. And this kid, his name was Tyrell. And he goes, Mr. Mark, we're kids. We like to play.
Hmm.
And like at the moment, like I stopped like mid whatever I was doing at the moment when the kids said that. And I'm like, that's right. Like I'm looking at like 13, 14-year-old kids, and that's what kids like to do. Like they like to play. And and the kid the kid said it so loud that it pierced me and it pierced everybody that was around him. It's like you don't get it. Like
I was
but
like, ding.
but but I think it was for the kid, it was his outlet because I trust I he had enough trust in me and I had enough trust in him that whatever he says that I hear him.
Mhm.
And so hearing that from him like pierced me in a place where yes, you've opened up trust with us and communication with us, but you actually have to really understand us from where we come from and how we
Mhm.
operate. And
Mhm.
so understanding where they come from and how they operate, like we're kids and we operate from a play standpoint.
Yeah.
So unless you're unless you're communicating anything to us, like if you're going to communicate anything to us for us to get it, it needs to be through what I just shared with you,
in a
the play thing, right?
play format. Okay, okay. So
And
this
so
is
that
where this
that was
came
the
from.
catalyst
Mm-hmm.
to start the whole gamification thing in the
Mm-hmm.
classroom. So from then on, we started every I started monitoring everything that they did from what they did naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't trying to do something or introduce them things that they didn't do naturally. So like math is something that we don't do naturally. Like we don't do textbook math naturally, but we do math in everyday things. So what we did, not long after that event, when the kids came in, they had breakfast, and we started creating like recipes and things like that with the breakfast, using what they already had, the milk, and we started creating recipe, making yogurt, making cakes, like and using the things that was available to us and making math out of those things, creating ratios, percents, and figure out how many cups or cartons of milk are we going to need for us to make for everybody that's here. And it's like, oh, we need to multiply this, and doing math, but not necessarily in the math context from the textbook, so to speak. So just using the context from what they're already experiencing, and hey, this is what we're doing, and it doesn't look like math, but it's something different. We're not sitting at our desk, open a textbook, trying to answer problems. We're actually doing something that's hands-on, and perhaps, I don't know, maybe I don't even do the I'm not even allowed to do this at home, but I get to do this here. And so it became interesting. So if I don't know if that was a long enough answer, but
That
that
was
that
that
was
was because we got about 5, 6 minutes left, and I
oh
want to
my.
make sure I get as much as I can here from you. So all in all, people, this man right here, thus far, has been in the military, been an educator, been a math educator, and that led to a game that he has produced. He is working on it right now. And I'm not going to give you tidbits or whatever about it, because you're going to have him maybe come and talk to your organization and your groups and things of that nature. But we wanted to find out, where did all this come from, in having the game. But what do you hope that they get from this particular game that you have?
So math is one of those. I've been teaching pre-algebra and algebra for the past 6 years. And so being in a classroom, I found that algebra is like a weed out course. And that weed out course closes opportunities for um, career options. So most career options that pay well, they require uh, mm, some level of algebraic thinking,
Mhm.
or critical thinking skills, which algebra does teach. And so the game in and of itself creates an engaging way that students can learn algebra
Mhm.
without algebra being algebra, meaning
Oh, okay.
it, it's presented to students in a game format
Mhm.
where it doesn't look like the student is learning math. It looks like they're playing a game. And so what I did was I introduced math rules into rules of the game. And so if you tell kids these are the rules of the game, they have to do the rules of the game. So the rules of the game are actually rules that we teach in math. And so it's like, oh, I can play that. So that's the biggest takeaway that I got, or that the game presents to teachers and students who would use it.
Wow. So then, in transitioning from the teaching aspect into the entrepreneurial side of things, were you ready for that? Were you just ready to jump on board, or that idea came and it's like, wait, let me think this stuff
It
through?
It was 5 years in the making, actually. So I used it. I used it in my classroom. I saw the results, and students would tell me what I could improve on. And because I was asking them, because it was going to serve them. They're the ultimate person who's going to use it. So it would benefit me to find out, what do you like about this? What do you not like about it? And so the thing about the game or the tools that I've created, it's student centered. The students told me this is what we like and this is how we learn and this is how we learn best. And
Mm-hmm.
so every component of the game is something that's thought out not from an adult's perspective, but from a student's perspective on
Mm-hmm.
how they like to learn.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's great. Dan, it's so much more we're going to have to talk about because I want to talk the next time. We want to talk on that next level, what has transpired. Because I know you've been out there hustling and getting your grind on to get connected with people. And this is your time right now that I want you to tell people how they can reach you if they want to help to be a sponsor, if they want to connect with you for distribution, and or if they have organizations that they want you to come and teach the game and maybe have them use their game at their groups.
Absolutely.
And
I
you
really
got a minute and a half.
I really appreciate it. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Vanel Marc on LinkedIn, and my website is learntograph.com. Um, if you're an educator, if you have an after school program, if you have a school, if you have connections with a school, reach out to me. I am available to come show you how the tool works. I'm here to do PD sessions to show your math people how to do the game and teach the game to the students. I'm available, or you can call me directly, 813-992-8329.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. Something wonderful for the young people. So glad to have you on the show. And we appreciate you so very much. And we thank you guys for watching. You got some good information. Pass it along. Contact this guy so he can take this thing to the next level. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad for you to have me. Really appreciate it. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
All right, guys, tune in the next time. I'm Stephanie D. Sanders, and this is Docu-Series, the autobiographies of some very interesting people. Bye, y'all.